Ah, yes, indeed. Welcome, everyone, to NFL Nation Live. Rep Guru, this is our Week 16 show. We are joined, as always, by the Hall of Famer, Mr. Violator, Wayne Mabry, and the legendary pirate, Captain Jack. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Woo, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to open up the chat. Keep it coming. Keep it real. Thanks, everybody, for joining with us. Man, it was a crazy Week 15, not the least of which started out in Minnesota. Actually, it started in Seattle, but San Francisco took care of business there. Do I have the right week?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. San Francisco went into Seattle. But in Minnesota, Indianapolis went into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. A 33-0 lead, and they didn't get it done. Matt Ryan now, man, that poor cat, man, he's lost a Super Bowl now. He's lost a regular season game.
Yeah.
What was it 27-3 in the Super Bowl and then 33-0?
Yeah.
Fixed.
Really? He mentioned something about that in the.
I just called it theater. I didn't say fixed. I just said theater. I don't know
what to call it. It was a crazy one. I'll tell you that. It was a fun one to watch, but 33-0. The Colts get 3 points in the second half. Of course, right. The other thing too is, and it might very well be theater. That said, though, you can't make up the stuff that happened in Las Vegas. But the difference between Minnesota is, I know they needed a lot of scores to catch up, but they quit turning the ball over in the second half. The problem is that they almost ran out of time. They didn't get some conversions that they needed to from that standpoint, and they needed overtime actually to win it. But still, you gotta credit the Vikings for not giving up. But I think it's odd for me is that, did we really think Kirk Cousins actually pull that off, right?
Well, I'm just saying from my vantage point, guys, I was scratching my head there. I'm like, wait a minute. And I just saw at the corner of the screen that they just flashed it up there. They didn't talk about it much, but it's had something about biggest comebacks in NFL history.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know what? This sounds like a trap here to fix the game, so to speak.
It's a trap.
We watched it play out. Now, like I say, for the purists like us, it's no way you could tell me that one team just flat out shut down in the second half.
The second half.
Just shut down.
Yeah, I think when we talk in next week's show, because there's so much drama going into this week, that I think if this theater thing is really happening, then we're going to see that play out. We'll talk about that. We start talking about Week 16. And I don't disagree with that. That said, though, there's plenty of drama for that to take place this week. And we'll get to that. Let's see. San Francisco took care of Seattle. Pittsburgh took care of Carolina. Philadelphia.
I'm glad that I watched the ass whooping that the Gators had on the field on Saturday. To see my alma mater, even though it sucked, it was better to watch that ass whooping with all of the Gator players basically declaring for the draft. There was like nobody there,
right?
Nobody there, and I didn't have to watch that fixed game.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, interesting.
I see a couple of comments here. CRF16 said they said it before it happened.
That's Ruben.
I caught that little ticker tape deal at the corner. I'm like, what is that up there for? And all of a sudden, it's just like the curtains pulled back, and the second half was all Minnesota. I'm just like,
so fill me in here. Connect the dots for me on that, V. Where you're talking about where on that comment, it says they said it before it happened.
Yeah, that was Ruben. Yeah, that was Ruben.
Hmm.
And then Matt says NFL equals WWE, which I've been kind of saying too.
Minus the folding chair.
Minus the folding chairs, and you got it.
Actually, we have tables. We have folding tables. If you're Bills Mafia, Matt says scripted in capital letters. I agree with that. Just Saturday going to Fat Tuesday to drink a few. that well's going to be dry, man. What happened to Baker Mayfield? I told you guys. Yeah, exactly. We made him.
Ruben.
We sent him to the Pro Bowl, and then he went to Green Bay. Guys asking. The Raiders have been completely shut down in the second half in 4 games. I agree with you on that front.
Aside from one catch, that was a touchdown.
Yeah, that one catch. Yeah,
of course it was. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that when we get there. Kansas City almost got beat by Houston. Really didn't matter, but it would have been a fun one if they had. Dallas got beat by Jacksonville. Come on, what's going on with the Cowboys to go into Florida and get beat by some cats that really don't have any claws yet?
Come on. Hey! Don't talk about my Cowboys like that. Don't talk about that because I'm gonna get Jerry and all those other illegitimate kids of his on your ass. Okay. Don't talk about the Cowboys.
Well, there'll be Cowgirls if they don't beat the Eagles this week without Jalen Hurts. I'll tell you that.
Well, I tell you. Can I talk? Can I finish?
Sure. we got a whole hour.
Can I finish? Okay. You know, I'm also I'm that other dude's illegitimate son that we used to run for president. You know, can I finish? I don't know. I don't remember what the guy's name is. I just know he pays me off every now and again to shut up about it. But anyway, Cowboys were just setting y'all up for the match against those Eagles or whatever they call them up in that PA up there. It's going to be a great game because I told you the NFL is scripted. Okay?
Scripted.
So we got to have a fix in to make it more, enjoyable for those people out in Vegas that like to gamble and stuff. So that's why they do it that way. Okay. I told you, even when we were playing them other cowpokes down in the state of the great state of Texas, the great state of Texas, the eyes are upon you. Yeah. But anyway, don't say cow turd about my Cowboys, you damn ignorant zebra.
Okay, well, we'll give you another chance to see how you do against the Birds this week. Jerry Jones equals Tex Schramm. That's a very interesting comment. I knew Tex Schramm, and I'll just leave it at that. Jerry Jones to his skid. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Detroit went into New York to take on the Jets, and this was a game that we talked about last week. Is the game the Lions should have won. They did win, but the Jets gave them all they wanted to. And I think what we saw here is the Jets defense is pretty good. And the Lions are still struggling a little bit. They have to go down to Carolina this week and beat a Panthers team that we don't know is actually going to show up. So,
what's happened? The 12-1.
So, Pierre, what's going on over there in Eastern Michigan?
Viva los Etoiles. We're going to New York. I told you, Jean-Claude Jacques. He's told you we were going to win. Mr. Mabry, did you tell the CBC about how great the Etoile is? We're going to the playoffs this year, baby. We are there. Viva los Etoile.
Awesome. Hey, well, they did show up with some grit. And like I say, the Jets gave them all they could. But like I say, they just found a way to win. And that's what that team's – you can see them playing like they're believing in that system that the coach is putting down, man. So they're ready to bite kneecaps off.
They are.
So watch out.
Yeah. But if they lose to Carolina, though, and they might, Green Bay then if Green Bay beats Miami. But let's just take the scenario.
Yeah.
Lions get beat by the Panthers. Green Bay beats Miami, and then it's on for the wild card piece. We put the Giants on the clock because I was dead set determined that they were going to get beat by Washington because the Commodores had the week off. They played them 2 weeks ago to 2020 tie. They had the week off, and then they came back at home, couldn't beat the Giants. Now the Giants going to go to Minnesota and play a Vikings team, doesn't even have to show up.
We need to address the comment by Gabe. And Gabe, I'm giving you the spotlight because he already hit me up on IG and Facebook. Says, "Oh, what about the Giants getting rolled by the Commanders and all the yada yada?" It's one game, and you got every freaking call. You got every.
They did. Oh my God! Yeah, don't even get me started on how the refs blew everything. in that game against Washington. They blew so many calls. It was pathetic. Absolutely, it was. I won't say it's the worst officiated game I've ever seen because most of the Wolves are Raiders game, but
there
was
was so much blowing
that was
on. You thought it was
ugly.
a whorehouse.
That was kiss your sister ugly. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't even funny. That wasn't even funny.
Nah.
Cincinnati beat Tampa Bay. Miami went into Buffalo, got beat by the Bills. Not a surprise there. I think what was a surprise is how well they played in the cold. All right, they had T-shirts that said they wished it was colder. I really don't think that's true, but I mean, a 3-point win is not what we expected from Buffalo at home, right?
No, it kind of makes you wonder if it's the phrase that we use, playing down to your competition, but those guys were neck and neck in the cold. So what separates them?
Yeah, a couple comments in there. Rip Franco, copy that.
Money
There's a question in there. Hang on, gang. Refs had money on the. Yeah, well, maybe. Ref Guru, thoughts on the refs calls this week? We'll get to that.
To him. Don't worry about it, Sebastian.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Well, we addressed one of them, and the Washington game was ugly.
Right.
So there's another one. I have a question. A team punts the ball. The punter was the victim of roughing the kicker. The kicking team keeps possession.
I saw that.
Well,
I saw that, Jay.
If I think I understand your question correctly, so let's do it the ref way. Team A is a team with the ball. Team B is a team without the ball. So Team A is punting. If Team B hits the kicker, there's two options. It's either running into the kicker or it's roughing the kicker. Running into the kicker is a 5-yard penalty. Roughing the kicker is 15-yard penalty.
Right.
Roughing the kicker is 15 yards, going to be an automatic first down. Running into the kicker is only a 5-yard penalty. So if it's 4th and 4 or less, then that's going to be a first down for Team A, right? Because they will reach the line to gain if it's a 5-yard penalty. If it's more than 5 yards, let's say it's 4th and 6, then it'll be 4th and 1. Team A can decide to still punt it or do something else on 4th down.
Right.
So if that's your question, I hope that answered that. There was a play in one game, I can't remember which one because I have refs amnesia, where I think it was the kicker got bumped into, and there was a flag for that, but Team B kept the ball, and the reason why was because there was a penalty on Team B, and so that's not an offsetting foul because Team B got the ball with clean hands. They're essentially going to decline the penalty on Team A, because if they accept the penalty, then Team A gets the ball back.
Gotcha.
Right? So if Team B gets the ball with clean hands and there's a foul against Team B, then that's going to get declined. So I'm not sure if I explained that correctly, but there is a scenario where both teams can foul and Team A doesn't get to keep the ball, either because the penalty was after the play or because declining the penalty would mean that Team B would have to give up the ball. Why would they do that?
No.
They do their BS right in front of you. Yeah, that's copy.
Yeah,
they're like, they're like
right,
cats. They just use the kitty box right in front of you. You can't win a game when you turn the ball over twice. Well, probably. Taylor turned the ball over. I missed it. Sorry, that comment went away. Oh wait, turned the ball over twice. Why can the Giants not just get credit from anyone? Well, because I mean, they played well enough to win the game, but the refs helped them a lot, and I mean a lot. So I'm not disagreeing that the Giants shouldn't have run it. I feel college refs are better than the NFL. It might depend on which conference, but maybe
SEC. That's about it because of speed. It's a different speed. I'm telling you.
Didn't that happen in a Raider game where the player got pushed into the kicker? Well, getting pushed into the kicker is not a penalty.
Right.
Yeah, if you push into him, right.
Yeah, if you're blocked, they call it being blocked into. It's essentially the same thing. If you're blocked into the kicker, that's not a penalty, regardless of what happens to the kicker, even if he ends up on IR. Let's see. So what was the comments? Okay, so hopefully we addressed those. If I didn't, my apologies.
We're good.
Okay. Baltimore got beat by Cleveland. Cincinnati celebrated. We talked about Minnesota. Anything else you want to cover on Minnesota except the epic collapse by Matt Ryan again?
Epic is right.
That's crazy.
and
Atlanta
now,
could not.
And now he's been demoted again.
Oh, is that right?
They got Nick
Great.
Foles. Nick Foles is going to be
just
the
in time to
quarterback.
play the Chargers. Come on.
Yep, Nick Foles is going to be playing the Chargers. Hey, well, maybe Nick Foles will throw 7 touchdowns again because it's playing against an AC West team.
Well,
That's
that'd
true.
be nice. That'd be nice. That's gonna get. I'll tell you what, folks. That's gonna get all kinds of weird if the Chargers go into Indianapolis, get beat by the Colts, and we find some way to beat Pittsburgh. Our show next week's gonna be cray. Atlanta could not figure out how to beat the Saints. The Giants somehow beat Washington. Now look, Barkley ran the ball well. The Giants' game plan was fine. And the Giants would have won the game probably without the refs. But I'm just telling you, it was ugly. That was shameful ugly. And they need to be called out on it. New England went into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Nothing happened in that game. The Rams went into Green Bay. Oh, wait, maybe something did. Yeah, I thought you just moving on to Cincinnati, man.
No. Hold off there, ship person. Okay. Not even a mate, because you're just on the ship here. I want to address the bull that I had to endure watching that game in Vegas. I had money on it, obviously, because I was in Vegas.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
Well, I don't. Again, and I talked to that crew. Okay. First off, I would like to say that Torbert is probably the nicest white hat in the league, because he ended up giving his game hat to Hollywood's daughter after the game. And I did witness this. So Hollywood's daughter, Raiderina, has a hat from Torbert. So nice. Great call there on that. But that game was a crock of crap. You saw me berating the official because I wanted to run a quick play, and the damn zebra was on top of the ball, would not let me run a quick play. Okay, they didn't get the memo. This was my game to beat the former son of a bitch that used to work for me. Okay, I don't want to hear about it. It was supposed to go, at worst, it was supposed to go to overtime so that we could win miraculously. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's it.
I've never been this animated. Coach B does not get this animated. The only thing that's worse is watching Captain Jack, that pirate guy, dance on the screen.
That's
on
pretty
Fox,
cool, though.
And then ESPN later on. I can't believe that.
Hey, Coach.
That's some pretty smooth moves, man.
Brady fumbled. And Chandler Jones ran over your quarterback like Grandma ran over a reindeer.
The only thing that is missing from that is move, bitch.
Yeah.
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. Move.
So here's the deal, right?
Get out the way.
The Raiders get a lead again, and in the second half, it looks like we're going to blow the lead again.
Right.
And then we get the late touchdown, and there really isn't a good angle on that to say whether the player was in or out. What I can tell you is that from television, when we first saw the play, it was from the wide angle. We couldn't see his feet. We didn't know if it was touchdown or not until the announcer signaled touchdown. And then my first thought was, I want to see the replay. When they showed the replay, they didn't have a good look at it one way or the other. Because it was ruled a touchdown on the field, there wasn't any way to overturn it. I was a little nervous because it's Raiders that they would overturn it, but there just wasn't any way. The other thing, too, is it looked like that, the official, I don't think the official had a super really good look at it either from the vantage point that looked to me like where they were versus the play. But when I look at it over and over again, I think it's a touchdown. I think my first thought it wasn't a touchdown, but the only real shot we have is the overhead shot. You can't tell from that shot because it's the wrong angle. So I'm thinking that it probably was a touchdown. It's a good call. I'm glad it stood, made the difference in the game to that point. And then instead of taking a knee and going into overtime, they do the pitchy flip back thing, and Chandler Jones happens to be standing in the right moment. What was that like for you guys at that moment in the stadium for that?
Yeah, that was a great play, I thought.
Pitchy woo woo. I think that those people, and I don't know who their head coach is, but they did not know about situational football. I talked about it in my press conference, situational football.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about the cameras
it was one of those things where, like in that movie with the Marine on the stand, it's like, do you understand it? Crystal. They didn't get the memo that situational football, you're supposed to go down like on your sister. But the point is, you go down to the ground. They didn't get it.
One of them did go down, Coach. One did go down, and he went down hard. Your QB went down hard.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's only because they were throwing to Jones, and they didn't figure out that it was supposed to be the other Jones to catch the ball.
Oh, gotcha.
The stiff arm was good.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so another comment in there
to Jones.
Another comment in there on the foot.
Situational football, always throw it to Jones. They just didn't realize that the other guy used to, and he knows that he played for the Patriots. He just didn't realize he no longer plays for the Patriots.
Oh, now that's crystal clear right there. Huh?
Yeah, Mac Jones. And
he went down hard.
It says they saw the
pebbles. Yeah, that's
come up black. They would have been black anyway. But what was the other question in there about the cameras? There was a question about the cameras. Okay,
the angles.
I think the question, it went out of my purview, but I think the question was how many cameras they have access to. Well, the answer is they only have access to however many cameras the broadcast people have.
Right.
So that they're limited to. And we could do a whole nother show on this, but this is a conversation I had with Tex Schramm back in 1988, folks, was how replay was going to work and how should replay work. And that's an interesting conversation if you want to go back 30 years or 40, whatever.
Well, had they not flexed the game,
only have
NBC has the cameras in. Had they not flexed the game,
that's
NBC
exactly
had
right.
The camera
that's exactly right.
And that's which is why I put money on the game prior to knowing that they flexed it down. Okay.
Yeah, they answered the question is the New York only can see whatever television cameras or whatever other cameras are available for the broadcast.
Well, no, I have extra. I always have extra cameras.
Yeah,
we know. Yeah,
we know. You have some left over from Super Bowl 36.
Exactly. I have all the cameras that they need. I have people in the stand. I actually have cameras up that come up from the turf. Okay, kind of like that
look
movie
like little sprinklers.
With Arnold. Who's the guy that played Rocky, and he was like a cop in the future? And you know how they have those little cameras that popped up out of the ground? I have cameras on all of the turfs.
Oh, Sylvester.
Okay. I have Coach Belichick.
You probably have cameras on all your sticks, Coach.
You can't be called the Cheatriots without having the right camera.
No, that's true. So they have that New York has access to all the cameras that television will bring to the game, but that television doesn't have the same number of cameras at every game. They'll have more cameras for a primetime game than they will just a regular, 10 o'clock, 1 p.m. kickoff game. So they were limited to whatever cameras were available for the broadcast. How many cameras that is, I don't really know exactly. Somewhere between 4 and 17, depending on the complexity of the game. So
I told you I have cameras. They should have asked.
But I know, Coach. But you're moving on to Cincinnati. So
it's on to Cincinnati. It's on to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
So good. Thank God. Okay. So, but the difference is New York has exactly, Cap. New York has software that aggregates all the camera shots into one console view. They don't have to look at each individual camera replay like you see on TV. They can see them all together at one time. So they can do this like whole 360 thing with the camera angles that they have based on the software. They don't show you that on regular television. I wish they did, but even that's limited in its scope to how many cameras you have available. So the actual number of cameras, I don't know. I try to find out. I think it varies, quite frankly, between individual broadcasts. But how they see what they see is just a little different than what we see on TV, but the end result turned out to be the fun.
I like Ruben's comment right here, Ref. He says they show you on TV what they want you to see.
That's true as well. Well, and part of that is because they don't know what the call is going to be. So yeah, a lot of Jones 360 degrees. They show on TV what they want you to see. Yep.
Mick Jagger in the house.
Software by Microsoft. Yeah, they're in the Surface Pro. The Rams went into Green Bay, got beat by the Packers. Yeah, that wasn't any surprise to anybody. Nah. They could have run the score up, but they didn't. Maybe they should have, because points is one of the tiebreakers. I was a little surprised about that. I think Green Bay's got their work cut out for them, though. They win this week in Miami, then it might be on. I don't know if they're going to get that done. But in any case, anything else you guys want to cover on Week 15? One question that I have still is, you guys were there. What was the atmosphere like? First of all, on the touchdown to tie the game, and then the end of the game with Chandler Jones running over Mac Jones to get to the end zone for the touchdown. Can you guys put some context into what was going on there?
Yeah, Wayne, I defer to you, sir.
Well, anyway, I needed some nitroglycerin pills myself. It had been such a roller coaster day. Yeah. And with that lead dwindling, I'm thinking, wait a minute, we just saw this last week.
Right.
And my pressure was just up to here. So when he caught the touchdown, I'm just like, oh God, now they're going to take it from us. But like somebody said in the comment, there was black dust. So his cleats hit that before he hit the white. But from the overhead camera, you didn't see all that. So Chandler getting this hot potato, that was just something straight out of Disney, the way it played out. And I'm thinking, no way they call that. But the player that screwed up talked about it post-game, so he might not be there next week. But like I say, Chandler's a damn good receiver. Hell, if you can't play DN, switch him over to receiver.
Maybe. Yeah, he's definitely got some hands. It's one in there that says, talking about the Washington game, says, to me, the last play of the game was the one everybody looks at. Here's my take on that, not mine specifically, but Gabe's take on that. Was it pass interference? Yes, but Washington would still need to get the 2-point conversion and then overtime if they got that. That's absolutely true. But they should have had that chance to do that and fail rather than have it not even taken away from them to not even have the chance. So that's the thing with those calls is those damn judgment calls, man.
Yeah,
they're not consistent enough, and they're just not working to fix it, unfortunately.
Because they don't care, Ref. I don't think they care.
Apparently, they don't care.
No.
Yep. All right. Raiders make me drink. Yeah. Yeah, they can. If that's the case, you better get a whole case of whatever for this week, because it's going on.
Oh
now.
Yeah.
Our 29th ranked pass offense makes me drink heavily.
I'm ready, baby.
Well,
be a lot of Kahlua and Grandma. A lot of Kahlua, Grandma, and White.
Can
and
refs
milk,
make up calls though? Well, can refs make up calls?
They do. Yes, make up calls all the time, there, buddy.
Yeah, but that's not something that they'll ever acknowledge that they do. But it absolutely is a thing.
It happens.
It absolutely is a thing. It absolutely is a thing.
Fixing it by.
So can the refs make up calls? Yes. Are they supposed to? No. But they will. Matt
I've got a video on my phone somewhere of guys doing just that. I don't know who got it, but it's interesting.
Well, Matt says the 29th ranked passing defense makes me drink. But at least you have some cool mugs to put it in, right? All right.
Exactly.
I'll shut the chat off here for just a second. We'll bring the chat back after our break, and then we'll get you ready for what might be.
Baby.
Have some cool mug there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you ready for what we think might be one of the craziest Week 16s we've seen.
I think so.
Prior. That said, the amount of Patriot fans that were in that place.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
When the Patriots defense needed a play, you heard that crowd.
Yes,
okay?
you did. It was embarrassing.
It was like the Bears game last year. There was so many Patriot/Cheatriot, because there's a difference between Patriot and Cheatriot fans.
Oh yeah.
Depends on if you've been there for a long time and you're a Patriots fan like Doc Cabral is, or you're a Cheatriot fans. I don't know. Ed Winslow says 70-30.
70-30.
I would say it was more Patriot fans than Raider fans. It just didn't seem like that at the beginning
until they got noisy.
Were up, with that score, which had the captain dancing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everything just goes kaflooey. Okay, so that was one thing I saw. And then having, and to answer your question there, Ref, because you said about being at that game, and I will admit, I did not want a camera on me at the last portion of the fourth quarter. I was saying, oh, do not put a camera on me. Because I probably would have flipped it off. Okay. And that would have been bad for my future performances. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. I got to remember not to do that. But I honestly was thinking that the way that the Raiders had gaffed the second half, yes, getting that touchdown was deserved, that they would go to overtime and they would lose. I admit that fully. But watching Chandler Jones running to me, baby, he wasn't running to anybody else. He was running right at me at that corner of the end zone. He saw the captain there. He saw my boogie shoes out there. And it was the greatest thing. That's why I couldn't leave the stadium, man, because it was probably there. And Tito, I told you, it's not my idea when they put me on screen and we screw up. That's on the network, okay? That's on the network. So it's not me. It's the network producer. But it was fantastic. That, in answer to your question there, Ref, I want to make sure we got it in, sir.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate that.
It was mind-blowing, Ref, to see that many of them there and just loud. And
well,
I heard there was a couple of skirmishes too, but I didn't. Yeah,
there was.
Well, maybe maybe they know how the Chargers feel now when the Raiders fans take over SoFi, right?
It's kind of like some of our own medicine, but it don't taste good. I tell you that.
Yep. Here's an interesting question. We'll get to this. What scares me is Franco passing.
We'll get to that.
Near Christmas Eve in Pittsburgh on the historic game and the refs. Can we overcome all of this? The answer is no.
No.
And you'll find out why after the break, because we have our favorite ref this week and our favorite umpire. We'll be right back.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. I'll be back in 1 minute. Camera on.
Welcome back, everyone, to NFL Nation Live, our Week 16 show. We put the nails in the coffin on a crazy Week 15. Week 16 is going to maybe not be so crazy in terms of the games played, but the outcomes of the games played might make things very, very interesting. One question in the chat room, let's open this back up for y'all. It says, you guys think you would make every call right if you were in an NFL game as a ref? The short answer is no, because you're not going to get all the calls correctly. The problem that we have with the officiating is the lack of transparencies on the calls that they miss and their indifference about making it better or trying to make corrections in that and improving the training, which would improve all of that. So no, would we get them all right? No. It's hard to call everything. Well, yes and no. At that level, you're trained to do that, so you should be calling it if that's what it is. It's not the easiest job in the world. No. There's jobs that are harder, though, like being president of the United States. You can't put a game in the ref's hands. Well, no, but you shouldn't have to. Again, it's a lack of training, a lack of proper quality training that creates a lot of these issues. And they don't do enough to take the officials' individual bias out of a particular situation. There's way too much attitude on the officials' part because they know they can get away with it. And if I were in charge, that would be unacceptable from that standpoint. It's very much like you would, ask a cop, right? You want a cop to be completely transparent and completely neutral in a situation and do the job that they're supposed to do and to protect the public regardless of all the other nuances that go in with that. And unfortunately, that's not what it is. Refs need to be full-time. With a few exceptions. And so let's see, there is one ref crew that is awful. He called the Seattle Seahawks the Mariners. Well, yeah, that's Jerome Boger.
That's Booger.
But that specific crew's not bad. That ref is bad. This week the whole crew sucks for the Raiders. Unfortunately, I was very transparent and transparent. Well, that's good, and you should be, and that's what we want out of our officials.
Integrity.
Yes. And if you want to put on a striped shirt and go ref some football, you let me know because I know how to get you into the big time. You'll be better than anybody out there. Well, they're doing the job all right. The job owners want them to do exactly. Cops and zebras the same thing. They get away with their.
Except for Jay. Jay. Jay's the best cop in the world.
I wouldn't doubt that. Tomorrow night, Jacksonville going to go into New York to take on the Jets. This is a Jaguars team that needs to win. It's a Jets team that needs to win. What's going to give tomorrow night, guys? It's basically the Jaguars offense against the Jets defense, same as last week against Detroit. I think Detroit was better prepared than Jacksonville will be, but what's y'all's take on it?
I'm taking Jets at home because of that D. I think the quarterback, I think White's still out.
Yeah, it's going to be Zach Wilson.
It's going to be Wilson starting.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Jets at home. It should be a tight game though. If the weather isn't a factor.
Yeah, I just think Jacksonville's going to struggle, but
now is it tomorrow night? You got a Friday night game?
No, it's a Thursday.
It better be Thursday tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
You're skipping my birthday, damn it. What the hell?
I'm sorry. Well, God forbid we would never want to skip your birthday. Okay. So apologies.
You scared the crap out of me, man. I'm thinking Friday. Shit, I turned the corner. Nobody told me.
Hey, trust me. I'll give you a breathy happy birthday, Mr. President, a la Marilyn Monroe. If you want to go there. Okay.
I don't, but thanks for the offer.
Okay.
Let's see. They need ex-players to be refs. Hold that thought.
Yeah, but I think the Jets win just because it's in New York. It's cold. Wilson is a decent quarterback. Remember, he came out in the same draft that Sunshine did with the Jags. So I gotta like the Jets at home.
Yeah, my problem with the Jets, they're not scoring enough points on offense, but maybe they won't have to if Jacksonville plays the very best game they can play, they'll beat the Jets. They're better than the Jets, but on a short week, I don't know. I don't think they've played a defense yet, with the exception of maybe Tennessee, that is as good as what they've seen in the Jets. I think we had the same issue last week. We're talking about Detroit going in there. Detroit wasn't quote the better football team, but they were going to need their offense to win that because that Jets defense gave the Lions all they wanted to.
Right.
The comment about Crosby, we went over that last week.
Oh yeah, holding. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's getting held, and they're not calling it. And
he got held on the 46-yard pass play that Jacoby Myers had. Okay, he was molested, mugged, and all they. I mean, if he would have been shot on the field like they had in that one movie,
exactly.
You remember the
longest yard.
No, not the one.
Not the longest.
The one with Bruce Willis and what's his nose? The guy was going down the field and shoots. He takes a gun out, shoots somebody, and then he shot himself in the head. Wow. Oh, Last Boy Scout. There you go. I knew I'd get it. If he was shot, they would still not call a friggin' penalty.
No, they wouldn't, and that's unfortunate.
It is
That's
sad.
unfortunate. And,
It's a
and I don't
bad
know.
look,
I don't know
though.
how to fix that.
know.
Nobody from New York's even addressing it. They're
No.
letting it fly by
Letting
like
it
the
go.
old Bengals thing.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that is good is that they at least recognize, and I don't know how many Raiders made the Pro Bowl, but they at least recognize that Max Crosby is a first-string Pro Bowler. They recognize it. They're just not giving them any
not giving the
credit when
credit.
it's due on the field.
That's right.
Right.
For penalties.
Yeah.
Insult to
It should
injury.
be. Yeah, absolutely. Green Bay defense was all over the Rams. They were indeed. They'll need to be all over the Dolphins if they want to win that one. Atlanta going to go into Baltimore, take on the Ravens. I like Baltimore at home because they have to win.
Yeah, I got Baltimore too. They need this win bad. I don't see them letting this one slip.
If Detroit's gonna get tripped up, it's gonna be this week in Carolina. I mean, they're gonna get beat maybe outright against the Packers, so to speak, in the last week of the season. But this week they go into Carolina and take on the Panthers. Are they gonna survive Sam Darnold and company?
He's Carolina. He's Carolina. It's a French colony. Okay? I know it's a French colony for Vive la France. We're going into Carolina. We are a better team than Carolina. They don't have a quarterback. I think it's a quarterback, right? Like a Royale, Royale. A quarterback. I don't care what the hell that Campbell guy is talking. Anyway, we're going to go. We're going to win. Vive la Detroit. This is
Tito
our
says
year,
Detroit
baby.
wins
This
big.
is our year.
I got Detroit myself.
See,
Buffalo
I give you a big kiss when and you go on your cheeks like we do in France. We're not gay, but we enjoy each other.
Gotcha.
Not that there's anything wrong with gay. I'm just saying. I got to make sure. Just like Jerry Seinfeld said. But for you, I give you another one. And there you go. 2 cheeks, that's why.
Thank you, brother.
You got it.
Jacques Levy.
Hey, you got some drool right here, Cap. So Buffalo going to go into Chicago. They're going to take on the Bears in the cold. What's going to happen here? Buffalo going to take a week off, or the Bears going to continue to be the Bears we've come to know and love over the last 10 weeks and drop another one?
I don't think Buffalo can afford to take a week off. They've been getting by with some slim wins here lately. And I don't know if it's because people are banged up, but they should handle Chicago with ease.
Well, you would think, but it's gonna be bitching cold over there.
Brutal cold. I forgot about that.
And my problem with that V is that you're right. That's absolutely the football pick. A couple of questions we'll get to here in a second. That is the football pick, but with that, if they can't do the passing game like they're used to doing the passing game, I'm a little worried about Buffalo. Not because it's cold, but they can't throw the ball the way they need to. I mean, the run. It's not like they're tearing up the league with the running game.
It's going to be both quarterbacks scrambling then.
All right.
I was going to say if you got a scrambling quarterback, which they both have, Allen versus the younger kid. I'll take Allen in Buffalo. It's going to be a squeaker. Because it's going to be those cold weather games, but I like Buffalo over a very depleted and just abysmal Bears team.
Okay. Jay, I think took Buffalo. I think. Who do you guys think is better defensive end, Max Crosby or Nick Bosa? That's kind of like comparing Coke and Pepsi, so to speak. I would say now. Don't blow me up for this, but I would say Nick Bosa by this little tiny bit. But it has a lot to do with the schemes that the two play in. Bosa plays with better talent around him than Crosby does. So my point is that Crosby could very well be the better defensive end, but we don't know because he essentially has crap playing around him where Bosa has more talent. So it's really hard for me to say.
The holding. Plus that.
Well, yes. No, I get all that as well, too. So he doesn't get the respect for that. If Max Crosby were on the other side of the 49ers, then this whole question of Crosby-Bosa thing would be completely it'd be a complete stalemate.
Thank you.
Wow. That is a good point.
That you stole my thunder. He stole my thunder. The
Ah,
best ability is availability.
He's dead on with that one.
Max Crosby always has his motor running, and you know what? He's never parked in the garage.
never.
Good
Never.
one, Matt. I like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
He's always there.
Yep. Bosa's build probably is a little bit bigger. They're different specimens, if you will, from that standpoint. Just from an athletic body build standpoint, I totally agree with you on that front. But again, if you were to put Crosby on the 49ers across from Bosa,
oh my goodness, unfair.
Yeah,
unfair.
I mean that there isn't a right and left tackle combination in the NFL that could stop that. They'd be double teaming guards on each side for just the defensive end, and God forbid if the team was playing a 4-3, that wouldn't even be funny. That would just be
that'd be an open door up to center.
yeah. I mean, 4-lane highway to the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's see. We got Buffalo. New Orleans going to go into Cleveland, play the Browns. Nobody cares. Seattle's going to go into Kansas City, take on the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs don't have to win any more games. They can't if they want to. What they want to do is not get anybody hurt. Seattle doesn't want to get anybody hurt either. But they got their backs up against the wall. This is a Seattle team now that's number 7 in scoring, taking on the number 1 scoring team in the NFL. This one's either going to be a shootout or Seattle's just going to fold it and call it a day. What do you guys think?
I think more of the shootout. And on KC's behalf, I just see them just blowing them out, and maybe they'll throw a white towel in.
Yeah. Jay asked if he's the only lady in the room.
No,
give or take.
Carrie's here too.
Give or take whatever persona Cap is on at the moment. Yes, maybe.
I'm
Carrie's here.
When I got the cap on, I'm Cap.
Yeah, I get you. No, I get you. No,
she's holding her on.
No, Carrie's here.
Oh, Carrie's here. Yeah, I see Carrie.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So no, Andy Reid gives Seattle his sea chickens gravy. Well, maybe so.
That sounds nasty.
Oh, that
sounds nasty.
If that's the case,
I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry.
Nasty, baby.
If that's the case, Seattle's.
Why you put yolk in the sink? That's nasty, baby. Go get
Seattle won't be out of it with the lost guys, but it's going to get hard for them to get in. And I think anybody that really gets in is the number how many seeds do they have? 5, 6, 4, 5, 7 seed? Probably not going anywhere anyway. And that's kind of what they're looking at this point. The Giants going to go into Minnesota, take on the Vikings. It's a game the Vikings don't have to win, very much like Kansas City. It's a game that they could win if they wanted to. But the fact that they don't have to after that exhausting game last week against the Indianapolis Colts, I think the Giants have a clear chance here on the road, especially with what they're playing for and the freebie they got in Washington last week to make another statement. Can they do it in Minnesota like they did against Washington?
Well, if they give them 2 freebies, that would look a little bit suspicious, ref. So I'm taking Minnesota at home this time with no second half comeback. Let's just flat out go out there and win.
Well,
I don't know.
The theater. I'm still on my theater thing. So
the theater.
To be honest, I don't know who's going to win that game. It just depends upon, like you said, if they're going to make it a script call, or they're going to play a game that is actually worth watching. Okay,
if they're going to play the script game, the Giants win.
Both of them were given scripted games last week.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So we'll see what the producer has to say. Well, if they got Cecil B. DeMille running the production on this, okay, or if they got Quentin Tarantino, it depends on which producer is producing this debacle. I have no clue. I know that's a cop out.
Yeah.
I have no clue on this game because
it's not because there's the football pick and then there's the theater pick. So the theater pick's the Giants, the same way as Seattle. Seattle's the theater pick. Wow. They need Seattle to win to even this thing up. There's no theater pick for New Orleans, Cleveland. Nobody cares. They're both on the clock. There's a theater pick for Chicago to upset the Bills, right?
That would be.
So, it's the same with Detroit and Carolina. The theater pick there's Carolina because if the Packers then find a way to beat Miami, and let's talk about that in a minute.
I don't have time to put on my beret. Don't talk about Detroit like that. Screw you.
All right,
Jay.
Coach. You were moving on to Cincinnati this week. You got the Bengals at home after that loss last week against Las Vegas. You're in a must-win situation now for the rest of the way out. How do you match up against Cincinnati relative to how well you matched up last week against the Raiders?
Well, it's, like I said, it's on to Cincinnati. You know, the
Wake
fact
up,
that
Coach.
I'm here. Listen,
Okay.
listen to me, damn it. I'm talking.
Okay. Good night, Jake.
I know you can't hear me because I have a bass monotone. But remember,
Yeah.
the Belichicks are
You and the Commodores.
you. No, hey, I don't have my music queued up yet, so
man.
don't give me that stuff. Okay, it's like screw you. I'll get it queued up after this.
So you're gonna get the Bengals? You're gonna get the Bengals or not? No, I
Don't
don't
talk
think
to me. Don't talk to me about the Bengals.
I don't think you're gonna get the Bengals.
Don't talk to me about the Bengals. Okay.
Okay.
If
Who do you
the
want to talk
NFL
about?
If the NFL gets the memos, and remember, there's been a couple different times that they have not gotten the memo. It's like the TPS reports in Office Space. If you don't get the TPS reports, then bad things happen. Yeah, we'd like for you to come in on Saturday. That'd be great. That'd be great. Okay.
Hey,
They need
Coach.
to get the TPS reports.
Coach, Matt has a question for you. It says, "What did you use to get that grass footprint off Mac Jones' face?"
Oh my God.
We used
Good one,
cheer and Tide, as well as some Clorox. Mixed it all together, and that's why his face looked as raw as it did, which is why on a lot of the memes you see that he's crying.
I thought you were just gonna say Tide and cold water, but
No.
yeah.
No,
All right. Well, I like
cheer and Clorox.
Okay, Coach. We got to go back to Cap because we need his pick. But V, you like Cincinnati or New England?
I got Cincinnati. I think Bill will have a tiger face at the end of this one.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think Coach B is going to be very constipated after this game.
I wouldn't want to see that end badly. Houston going to go into Tennessee to take on the Titans. If you want the football pick, you're going to take Tennessee at home, whether or not Tannehill plays. If you want the theater pick, then you got the Houston upset, which just throws the AFC South into this big old giant,
big old
mess of everything.
Cluster.
Yeah. Tennessee, baby, Tennessee. Gotta go for it. Like I said, I told you the coach is going to be gone when they took out the GM. The GM's fired. So when after this year, Mike Vrabel going to be fired as well. Okay, and that's not a fart. That's what comes out of your anus. I'm saying he's going to be fired. Okay, remember what I'm saying, not what I'm doing. Okay. Tennessee. Who the hell we playing anyway? I don't know.
Well, you're gonna give the Texans some of your best whiskey, huh?
Oh hell no! I mean, look at me. I'm like that guy on Deliverance, that movie with Burt Reynolds when he didn't have like a mustache. He was ugly back then, wasn't he? When he had that mustache,
something like that.
Like, yeah. Anyway, squeal, boy, squeal. Anyway, I think that Tennessee is going to take this. I know the Texans have been playing better.
Yeah.
But it's in Tennessee, okay? We all know when there's two people in the room and I got my wife and my sister there, it's because we're both there. This is Tennessee, folks.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Kentucky. And I want to hear we got the shine, we got the whiskey. We got Jim Beam and Jack Daniels. We're going to win. We're going to get them all messed up.
Okay. Well, you give them
all messed up. Yeah. Squeal, boy. Squeal. Anyway, you know how it is.
Copy that. Jack will get beamed by some whiskey. Couple comments there. Jones isn't being coached since Josh left. That's true, but followed up by Tito's comment that says,
can't have
that
QB coach that coach defense.
Yeah, right.
That's
exactly. Yeah, and then there was another comment too, but I think I addressed both of them. Because Ed's comment was Jones is a horrible quarterback. Maybe.
He doesn't have an OC.
He's probably right because I don't know if he's all that yet. But the other comments of this, he's not getting very well coached, and he's getting coached by somebody who really doesn't coach.
Doesn't know offense. Yeah, exactly.
I see Bill O'Brien being Pat's
Where's
OC
Bill
next year.
O'Brien? Where did he
Who
go?
knows? Who knows? I don't think he's in coaching.
I think he went to Alabama. That's right. That's where
college.
he went.
Okay.
He went to Alabama.
Because Bill, Coach B and Nick Saban.
Now I remember. He's the OC in Alabama. He's going to go to be with Bill Belichick in New England next year. And
good. Then Lane Kiffin can go be the OC at Alabama.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Yeah.
No, I did hear it, which is why I said what?
So Bill, no, I'm just messing with you. So Bill O'Brien, you said, goes from Alabama to New England to be the OC under Bill, because Bill and Nick Saban are good friends, right? Coach B and Nick Saban. So what I said was good. Then that'll open up the OC position for Lane Kiffin to go back to Alabama.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
I know. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. I'm just messing with you. Washington going to go into San Francisco, get beat by the 49ers. One of the better games of the week will be Philadelphia going into Dallas. Of course, everybody's not sure if Jalen Hurts is going to play.
Right.
As the Texas are upon you all the good long day. Yeehaw, Cowboys!
What is that? What is that song they sing?
I don't know. I usually
deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
You got to be able to clap fast on that.
Yeah, I got arthritis. I can't go that fast. We need
Chandler Jones to do that. I know them all, baby.
You know what? I got Philly pulling this one out.
Even with Gordon Minshew or whatever his name is.
Even with Minshew. Even with the stash. Because of their D. And he won't be as mobile as Hurts. Now Hurts could come in. Now this is the theater thing. They've been playing that all the way up, and then Hurts just walks out there like,
Well, and the shock and awe is exactly what they'd want out of that, right?
That's what I'm saying. The theater part. So they're feeding one thing to us, just so the opposite can happen, and then to be one of those aha moments. So, but anyway, I got Philly edging this one out.
So Matt says the Cowgirls.
I don't tell Jerry I said this, but I think that
I won't
come in and whip our ass.
What?
But don't tell him that though, because he gets me those that all the free Pepsi that I can get at the stadium. Because remember, they don't have Coke at the stadium. They have Pepsi.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't get that, but okay.
And I get all the Pepsi I want, and I get all of the at the bunny at the chicken ranch. I almost said the bunny ranch. I was out in Vegas a couple hours ago. Vegas. Oh my God. At the chicken ranch. I get the ranches all kind of messed up. But don't tell Jerry though. I think Philly's gonna come in.
No, your secret's safe with us. Yeah. You guys so Matt says the Cowgirls are paper tigers. Right, but we're talking about the football team. I'm just messing with you. You guys think the Cowboys are gonna choke again this year? Not till they get to the playoffs.
We go to the playoffs. We're just gonna be one and done, just like an old man.
It depends on where they go. If they go to Tampa Bay, maybe not.
That's true.
Not. It depends on where they go, Cap.
That's true.
Who?
Tampa.
My name's Tex, just like Shram. Get that stuff right, you damn ignorant.
Right on, Tex.
Damn right.
Salute.
I need to chaw my mouth.
I got
that
produce,
I don't
direct,
do the
and
chaw
run
anymore
this.
because first off, it's bad for you.
Okay, Ed, have a good one.
Gotta run. Hey, take care, Ed.
Hey, bye, Ed. Go get me one of them girls out in Vegas again the next time I come see you. Yeehaw!
It's Yellow Rose. That's because they pissed all over it. Las Vegas going to go into Pittsburgh and take on the Steelers. It's a Saturday night game, Christmas Eve. There's a lot going on with this one because it's all, the hoopla around the 50th anniversary, the Immaculate Reception. For those of us that were alive to see that, it was what it was. And then today the announcement Franco Harris passed away. Right. So a lot has come and gone in terms of emotions and feelings and everything. So people have come and gone in the last 50 years. So it's looked on more of from a historical perspective as it should be versus bitter rivalry, which is what it was in the 70s. But
Yes.
this is a challenge for the Raiders to go into Pittsburgh on an emotional night for the team. Kenny Pickett's allegedly going to start, which may or may not make a factor. But I think for me, guys, what concerns me probably the most here is the weather.
The weather definitely is going to be a factor. I think we were discussing something minus 17. So just put a lot of Vaseline on. Put your what they wear now. They're wearing scuba suits. Scuba suits. That's the latest.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on and run the ball.
Yeah, and Matt says just run, baby.
Run the ball.
Run. But are we really going to be able to do that, Cap? What's going on with the offensive line? Any changes since last week?
The offensive line has improved. I don't know if well, actually, I like Grisau or Grasu, the dude with the funny name that came in for Bars. He didn't play bad.
No, he didn't.
He's been on the practice squad and he's a big kid. So it's going to be a matter of it's run versus run. We're going to run. They're going to run. Okay. Carr does not throw well in weather that is below freezing.
No,
he doesn't do it. Historically, I think he might have a win or two, and that's it. And he has double digit losses when it's below freezing.
And don't forget the officiating crew.
Cold and windy with a negative 11, I think, wind chill.
Trey Blake.
Right. So I would say, who's the official?
It's Trey Blake and his crew, but the issue for us is the rest of the crew. Trey Blake himself's not that bad, but Mahalik's the umpire, so we're going to totally get forked on that deal. Not to mention the guys on the back end with Hill, Willard, and Brooke.
We're screwed.
We're just good,
screwed.
Man.
Absolutely screwed. So
theater,
I don't know.
Theater, watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, we get the one, and there is no way in hell after Franco just died. We weren't going to get any calls anyway, but now they might not even let us in. They might just say you can't come in the stadium because it's already predetermined. Just get your ass back to the hotel and forfeit because it'd probably be better for you and you won't catch a cold. That's the best thing that they could do for us.
The advantage that we'll be wearing white jerseys in the snow.
I didn't think about that one.
I don't think so, but that
could be an advantage, but it won't.
It could be a disadvantage too because they can't see.
They
can't see our guys as much. But I don't know. I don't think it'll be a factor.
Is it going to be snowing or is it just going to be cold? I don't know.
They're predicting the storm of the century everything between Chicago and New England, pretty much.
New England, yeah.
Well, the last time that we went to someplace with a lot of snow, I recall, I can't remember what. Oh, that's right, we got tucked.
Yeah. The autumn wind. It's coming colder than that, but yeah. All right, Green Bay going to go into Miami. So I think there's a lot of key games this week, but I think there's three big ones: Raiders, Steelers, Packers, Dolphins, and Bengals, Patriots. But can Green Bay actually get it done in Miami? Look, this is a Dolphins team now that's going home after three games on the road, all losses. They lost in San Francisco. They lost in LA against the Chargers. They lost last week in Buffalo by 3 points against the Bills where it was cold. Now they're going home. Well, a Packers team that has a lot of attitude, but I'm not sure that they have enough to put themselves over the top. Green Bay has to win out, get some help. They say they're determined to do this. They're running the ball pretty well. Defense is decent, but I'm just worried about it's a Dolphins team. They're playing Miami at the worst possible time when they got an angry Dolphins team with their back up against them.
There you go. And can they keep up if it turns into a shootout? And I don't think
because they don't have the receivers to do that.
They don't have the receivers, so I'm taking Miami at home. And that defense will be pressuring Rodgers a little bit.
Yeah, I'm worried about the Packers' ability. If they go down there and beat Miami, then Green Bay has a very good chance to go in the playoffs, especially if Detroit gets beat by Carolina. A lot of ifs, I understand that. But it all goes down the drain if the Packers can't take care of business on Sunday. Denver going to go into LA to take on the Rams. Nobody cares. Tampa Bay going to go into Arizona, take on the Cardinals. I think everybody cares about that in and around Florida, but the rest of us don't. And then the Chargers are going to go into Indianapolis. Any chance the Chargers are going to accidentally drop one against the Colts? I don't think so.
That would be theater.
Taylor's already on IR.
Yes.
What else do the Colts have at this point?
The linebacker's still out.
Nick Foles.
Oh,
well, yeah, they got Nick Foles. Who's he going to throw to?
Well, I think one of the receivers came back against us. A couple, was it Williams or the other guy? They actually got some decent receivers there. They're missing one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think it's unfortunate that in the last 4 or 5 weeks, or maybe 6 weeks, that we had to play the Colts when Taylor was healthy.
Michael Pittman,
he wasn't healthy prior. He hasn't basically been healthy after. We got him right in the middle of, him having a couple of good games, which is kind of unfortunate.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chargers receivers. Yeah, Michael Pittman. Yeah.
Well, all of their receivers are healthy, so I say it's going to be an aerial show, ref. Being indoors, it's going to be cold as a bear's tit outside.
Right.
But that's going to be an aerial show in there, man.
Yeah, very well could be. It very well could be, especially if Nick Foles has any magic left in him. I think he might be a little rusty. I just like the Chargers on the road because of the drama factor.
I take them too.
Yep. Last week we put the Giants on the clock. Maybe we were just a smidge early on them. But this week, I don't have anybody that I was going to put on the clock because everybody else that's kind of left is still hanging around the playoffs. I suppose if we're confident in New England, if we're confident in the Bengals going into New England to beat the Patriots, then we put the Patriots on the clock. You guys bold enough to do that?
I would say wait another week for that one.
All right. When without New England, I don't really have anybody else yet that would be a bold pick to put on the playoffs. The only other one would be Seattle.
You know what? And that's what's so exciting about this time of the season. It's all jumbled up, and when they get put in the blender, man, you don't know which way teams are going. That's why we watch this stuff, man. Even if it's theater, as I'm starting to call it. It's just theater.
Mm-hmm.
But entertainment-wise, hey,
B, isn't it amazing, though, that this is at least the third time that I can remember that the Raiders were playing on Christmas Eve?
Yes.
Recently?
Yes.
Recently. At least the third time. I know that they played
in recent years.
The O game.
That
was on Christmas Eve. I think that was against the Chargers. And there was another game that they played on Christmas Eve not so long ago. This is the third time.
This is the third one.
Granted, they did it because of the Immaculate Deception.
Right.
But I don't know about that. Why are we kind of always getting screwed on that one?
Because they know.
Well, that's the age-old question. They got to screw somebody.
And we're first in line, Cap. You know that.
Pretty much. We punched our ticket for that a whole long time ago.
Well, a long time ago.
Weather is a great equalizer.
Yes, it is.
It is, unless you play in warm weather. But yeah, very well could be. Where do you guys think got
win
snubbed
on
to make
Saturday? It's because it's by accident.
What, by accident? No
Yeah.
way, Cap. Nothing in the NFL is an accident.
I'm just saying, if they do win, it's because somebody didn't get the memo, just like Coach B says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would you know what? I would like our chances if we had any other crew.
Yeah, then the one you're right. Because
There was no reason. There was no reason for them to reassign a crew that we've already had when there's other crews that we haven't had yet. And they gave us the worst possible crew in the most important game of the year.
But
That's
guys, they don't think the average fans even know any of that.
Right.
You know?
It's like because all of the fans are stupid. What are you, stupid or something? Yeah, that's what they think we are.
Yeah.
They think
because
we have Ref Guru who tells us about the officials and how important they are dictating a game.
So a couple
questions. Yeah, Adrian Hill. That's a Giants crew.
So hang on a second.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Adrian
there
Hill
was
is the guy that we had for the Commodores game last year, who's from DC.
so the question V was for the Giants game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian Hill.
That
So
crew.
let me see who's on that crew. Roy Ellison, Super Bowl umpire, David Olivier, Kevin Cody, Merle Robinson, Jim Quirk, Keith Ferguson. Pretty good crew. Pretty balanced crew.
Right.
Yeah, that's an okay crew. You know, one of the things we always watch for is where's Vinovich. Interesting. He's in Baltimore. I'm really surprised that he or Hockley was not in Dallas. They gave the Cowboys game to Alex Kemp.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised about that, actually.
No Chippy.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd want him in Baltimore. Seems to me that they'd want him in Minnesota,
Or like you said, that
Tennessee,
Philly,
San
Philly,
Francisco,
Dallas.
someplace where there's going to be attitude problems. Not that the other refs can't do that, but you've seen what happens when they don't shut it down early. There's another question in there. What misses were? I assume they mean Raiders. What other Raiders were snubbed from the Pro Bowl that should have gotten in?
I don't know.
The list is pretty long.
I know is Crosby. Did Cole make it? Because if he didn't make it, or if Carlson didn't make it, those are snubs.
Yeah, if Carlson.
Absolutely. Adams would be. Jacobs would be.
Right. I was going to say, if Jacobs and Adams didn't make it, those are definitive snubs. I don't know. Other than Crosby, I had no clue who made the Pro Bowl.
Well, and honestly, now, guys, it doesn't really even matter anymore.
With the flag.
Not that the Pro Bowl hasn't been a joke for a while, but it used to be a badge of honor, and they've completely crapped that out now to where it's not even that anymore. So
now they're going to flags. So
yeah, so not going to the Pro Bowl, to me as a player, I'd be like, so what? I just don't even think it's a thing anymore. They've completely stripped it from being anything of any value. It says Jacobs and Adams made it.
And if Carlson didn't make it, it's a snub.
Absolutely. The kickers for sure.
Yeah.
Both of our kickers.
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah. And Crosby, for that matter. But that's pretty much the core of the team, right? Jacobs, Adams, Crosby, Carlson, Cole, maybe Carl.
Justin Tucker is not better than Carlson. I said it last year. I say it this year, and I will pound my foot in the ground until it's broke, until somebody listens to me.
But he's got that. He's got that whole opera, that whole reputation.
He's got the history.
Yeah, the history. Yeah.
But I agree with you, Cap. I think I think that the tide has shifted from Justin Tucker. Nothing wrong with him as one of the elite kickers in the NFL, but I agree with you. He's not better than Carlson at this point. He might have been early, because he's later now. Carlson's earlier, but maybe when Carlson was first coming in, maybe. But you're right, that tide has quickly changed. But he's the veteran, so to speak, and probably gets a nod based on. But again, guys, at this point, I don't even think the Pro Bowl is even really worth mentioning anymore. Hasn't been for a while, but now that they've totally not even made it a game, it's just lame.
Money in the contract, and I think these guys deserve it. It's money in the contract.
Well, I
don't
disagree with that. I just don't think it's the badge of honor that it used to be, and getting quote snubbed. I mean, if I were playing and I were Crosby and I didn't make the Pro Bowl, I'd be like, so what? If this was 1985 and I didn't make the Pro Bowl, I'd be like, what the hell? I mean, because before, when they used to talk about Hall of Famers, potential Hall of Famers, they talk about, the number of Pro Bowls. Look at, Matthews, Bruce Matthews, played every position on the line, went to 18 of 20 Pro Bowls, all these guys. And it used to be, like I said, a badge of honor. And now they've completely stripped it to me of anything of any value other than to, like you said, Cap, to instead of it's
sell
currency,
the game.
It's currency value to the player, but to everything else, I don't even think that it's even a thing anymore, which is really unfortunate. But All I'm saying is if I were a player and I didn't make the Pro Bowl, I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't care. All right.
Not now, I wouldn't. All right. Anything else we want to cover? Our kicker was cheating. I don't know what that means. But if he wasn't, then he wasn't trying.
It's
At
just
this point,
something
Pro,
you
it's
can
just
say,
something that
yeah.
you can say you made that sound, I guess.
That's how, yeah.
Yeah. I
Pretty
mean,
much,
it's like the honor roll at school.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Raider Turdosis. Nice. Cool
Make
shirt there, Cap.
sure you go to Moto Sports and
Yes.
get your awesome wear.
Yes.
Wayne, pimp that site, my brother, while I do the dance.
Moto-sports.com. You see it in all of our
Appreciate
intros
that,
and
Cap.
extras. Yeah. It says, Guru, what do you think of our kicker cheating? I don't know what he's talking about. Somebody fill me in there.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one either. What was he
You know
cheating?
you're late.
Oh, are you talking about with the T? With you guys, did you get that controversy around the kicking tee that Carlson was using? Yeah, the kicking tee. So first of all, he wasn't cheating. So Raiders fan in the
Pats, I heard about that. I didn't see it.
It was
heard
a
about
chick, if I'm not mistaken. It was the
It was
chick
a lady.
with that
Yeah.
face.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hold that comment. Let me address the kicking tee one.
Let's see.
The Raiders went to NFL Ops and said, do I have my kicking tee here?
Thank you, Andrew.
Hang on, guys. Hang on.
Go get your shirts. You can look awesome like me.
Appreciate it. Somebody
Okay.
got one as a prize too.
Raiders went to NFL Ops and they asked them if they could, I was trying to put it so you can see the tee.
Yeah.
Can you see the tee on the white background now?
Yeah, we
All
got
right.
it. Yeah.
They went to the NFL and asked them if they could put the football on the upper edge of the kicking tee instead of down here
Instead
in the
of down
cradle.
on the foot.
And the NFL said, yes, you can do that. And then after we did it, they realized that it was elevating the kick. So they said, no, you can't do that. So so now they've made it a rule about how you can or can't use the kicking tee. I'm not going to go into all of that in this show,
man.
but so we now have another rule, another Raider rule.
Another Raider
yes,
rule.
exactly, V, about what you can or can't do with the kicking tee. Thank you, Raiders. But they did not cheat. They went to NFL Ops and asked for permission. NFL Ops gave permission. Then after they did it, they said you can't do it. If they did it after that, which I don't think they did, that's a different story. But
they would have it would have been
big
flagged.
fat fine. Yeah.
It should have been. But so I didn't see that. But all I'm saying is I don't think that they cheated. So if I've missed something and you still think they cheated, let me know. But I think if that's what you're alluding to, my understanding is they went to NFL Ops and they said, we want to be able to put the ball here
on the top. And I
instead
remember
of
they
like
had
this.
somebody holding it. They had a guy holding it.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
So the whole, again, this whole thing,
Wow.
the NFL's just forked up. They don't even know their ass from a hole in the ground right now. Much love. Okay. And what was the other question you guys see? Did you see the video? Did you see the video of the Raiders fan in the Pats
at the end
fan
of the game.
face?
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Ooh, it
Do you
looked
guys
like
know or no?
upper level Oakland, except it was upper level Vegas.
Vegas.
And I didn't hear all of the sound, but it was a lady that was just going after this Patriots fan. And then I saw another dude there that was like going after him too. Again, I didn't hear the sound because I was not able to hear it. But the girl got right up in the grill.
Wow.
Right up in the grill of the Patriots fan. but the Patriots fan said, if I'm not mistaken, it's like go home Raiders fans, and then she got pissed off at that.
Yeah, so that okay. So back to the kicking tee. Tito says that Pat McAfee called it out. I'll have to research it and see what's going on there. I guess I don't know the whole story. I told you what I think I know based on what I think I've seen and read, and if there's more to that story, then I'll go. I agree, it's all Adam Vinatieri's fault. Ex-punter from the Colts. Yeah, Pat McAfee's ex-punter from the Colts. But all right. Yep, needs to be banned. Probably so. All right, guys. We're We're an hour and a half into an hour show, but it's been a good one. Thanks for joining us this
Yes.
week. We'll be back next week with our week 17 show with 2
17.
weeks to go in the regular season before we get to be the playoffs. Hang on a minute, Cap. Yeah, get your Raider to dose. Just search at moto-sports.com. You can see that we usually have, I think there's something in our credits run. If not, you can see it in our ads every week. moto-sports.com. Get all your cool stuff there. You can get Wayne's book. You can get all kinds of cool stuff from Wayne's store, and various other cool things. Guys, what are you looking for this week besides somehow some miracle in Pittsburgh? Other than that, what's on your mind this week, Cap, to go into week 16? Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yep, and for all my Jewish brothers out there, happy Hanukkah to you as well.
Agree with that too.
So
in whatever way
I do Christmaka. I do both. Because I come from a half and half house. So I do Christmas. So and I do Christmas as well. So I just want everybody to have a great holiday season. Yep. If you are going to Pittsburgh, Raider fans, please dress warm. And it goes without saying, because again, those temperatures, you can actually get frostbite, being outside for a period of time. Make sure you wear all of that stuff on your face. Like your face will get frostbite, and then it'll turn black. Okay, warm. But let's have a good game. Like I said, if we win by accident, it's because somebody didn't read the script. But it's going to be you used to call it 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's going to be 3 yards and some snowballs.
Snowdrift, yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to see a good game. And again, they're going to get every friggin' call in the book, but maybe we win on accident. It would be an accident. Because if we do, I sound like the guy in Good Morning Vietnam. And if we do, then God knows what can happen after that. Can we go on from there? Wow, we'll see, but it's got to be started this weekend and Saturday.
Well, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody out there, to all of my guys here on the crew. I'm just looking for us to finish strong and let's get this mystery out of the way. See what next year, what we looking like after next year's draft. That's the players that we get will let us know what type of team that they want to put together. So that's what I'm looking for.
Matt says, Rip Franco Harris agreed. Great man, great running back, but he picked it up off the ground. He might have told us on Saturday whether he did or he didn't. Now we'll never know.
Brent Fuqua knows.
Right. Yeah, he does. He knows.
Fuqua, I don't disagree with you, but I think Fuqua's full of Pittsburgh.
Dong.
I'm just saying. I'm just a Raider fan to a Steeler fan. I don't disagree with you, but I don't know. Anyway, all right. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
You got it.
Yeah! Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and definitely Happy Hanukkah. Yeah! And I'm gonna do
Salute, Cap.